Hello everyone, I'm Tarindi Himaranshi. South Asia is the southern region of Asia, which is defined in both geographical and ethnocultural terms. The region consists of the countries of Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, the Maldives, and Sri Lanka. Let's see early childhood care and development in these countries. Abbreviations. Let's see early childhood care and development in Pakistan. This is my content. Officially, the Islamic Republic of Pakistan is a country in South Asia. It is the world's fifth most populous country along the Arabian Sea and Gulf of Oman in the south, being bordered by India to the east, Afghanistan to the west, Iran to the southwest, and China to the northeast. Evolution and new trends in early childhood education in the country. While often around us, the condition of child labor were frequently better than the squalor and poverty in which the vast majority of families lived. But with the passage of time, reformers began to understand the process of child growth and development. They began to realize that childhood is different from adulthood and that children are not just miniatured adults. Pioneers such as Froebel starting in 1837 and the Macmillan sisters starting in 1913 began to make an impact on structuring actual programs for a large number of young children. Early childhood development national policies. Viewing nursery as an integral part of the mainstream education at the Education Conference 1947. Kachi classes as a means to merely familiarize children with school settings. No education policy during the 4 decades made any reference to ECE. Education policy proposed to mainstream Kachi classes. National Education Policy recognized the need of early child education in 1998. National Plan of Action for Education of All suggested a complete plan for mainstreaming early child education in the formal education system through sensitization of stakeholders, allocation of funds, and encouraging private sector. Document provides policy and curricular guidelines pertaining to early child education in Pakistan. Early child education was taken up as an innovative program implemented across Pakistan with federal funds.
National Education Policy proposed that ECE should become part of mainstream education integrated in all primary schools. The policy also suggested an action plan.
Curriculum and teaching methods, which addresses certain evolution and new trends in early childhood education in the country. The education system in place in Pakistan are mainly framed within a didactic approach to learning and teaching,
Which addresses certain areas of education but also not teach the child as a whole child. Domain of children's holistic development such as social, ethical, cultural, intellectual, emotional and physical well-being and some other key academic skills are not fully covered. In this kind of education, students are taught to follow rules without question and do as instructed, which corresponds to an autocratic view of learning. In Pakistan, though most of private schools started with high aims and objectives, but in most of cases teaching and children goes on traditional manner. Examples from book to blackboard. The early childhood education programs look after the other children's academic needs and overlook their health and psychological development. Overall, in private preschools activity based on teaching approach was in action. In government schools there were no concept of children's activity and play. Children were doing rote memorizations of their lessons. In urban preschools of Pakistan, parents are involved in their child's education, whereas in rural areas, parents are not involved in their children's education. Let's see public contribution and private sector contributions. I have divided them into government and non-government sectors. These are my findings for them. Now we go to the It is how early childhood education works in the country. Early years of learning, examples 3 to 5 years, are consumed at home without planned educational activities, and children's potentials are not nurtured in a proper way. The objectives of this study was twofold. The education system in Pakistan is generally divided into 6 levels. They are preschool, primary, middle, high school, undergraduate degrees and graduate degrees. Preschool is designed for age 3 to 5 years old and usually consists of playgroup, nursery and kindergarten. How to substitute for Sri Lanka? In the content of early childhood education in Pakistan, teachers occupy dominant roles which position them as in partners and sources of knowledge and children as dependent and receivers of knowledge. rather than considering them as potential curious and powerful learners with unlimited capabilities.
In contrast, many developed countries use research-based contemporary approaches to children education and development, giving them a more central role in their learning to ensure that every child has the opportunity to develop to their full potential. This kind of approach reminds teachers to review all children not as needy or deficient individuals. To involve the community in childhood education is still not conceptualized in our schools. These are my references. Thank you.